to Watch with Natalie Whitmore and Yasmin Elizabeth. Yasmin, thank you so much for coming to speak with us today.
It's alright.
So I'm really excited for today because Yasmin is a health and motivational guru. Yeah, and we all need a bit of that in our lives. So Yasmin is the founder of Pick Me Up, a holistic health coach, a part-time beautician. You're training to be a PT, and you're a mother as well. So just all-round boss. So if you're aware of Pick Me Up, Yasmin started it in 2014, and it's everyone's go-to for daily motivation. You use social media to reach out to people. Can you tell us a bit more about Pick Me Up, Inc?
Yeah, I guess I made Pick Me Up when I needed Pick Me Up. I needed a Pick Me Up. It was really organic the way it came. I didn't think, oh, people need this. I was just writing about things that I needed to hear, and they were like little notes to myself, and then people just was like, oh yeah, this is really helping me. And I came up with the actual concept because I was going to write a book. So that's how called Pick Me Up, when you need to pick me up, and that's how Pick Me Up started. Yet to release the book, but just as it got bigger, people just, asking me to do events and stuff like that, and it's just grown really organically and just having a lot of fun along the way with it, really.
Definitely. So it's a Monday right now, and gosh, Monday is not my favourite day, but you've written that Monday is your favourite day.
Yeah.
How can people beat the Monday blues?
I think for me, it's just all about perception, how you look at things. Like for me, a Monday is a fresh start. It's a day that we start again. Every day is a fresh start, but I like to think of it as, you know how everyone's always on like new year, new goals, new me, and that kind of thing. I actually have that same excitement that everyone has to start a whole new year. I actually have that on a Monday because I'm like, boom, even if last week was amazing, great, how can I make this one better? Or if it was crap, I'm like, yo, this week's got to be better. So, and I've made my Mondays cute. I make sure on a Monday I do something that I look forward to. I don't do anything I dislike on a Monday. Even if I have to work, I still allow time, whether it's in the evening or something, that I treat myself. Because I think as the general public, we've become so conditioned to celebrate Fridays and look forward to Fridays because it's like Friday, yeah, let's go for a drink or whatever. Whereas it's kind of like, why not go out on a Monday evening for a dinner? Why not, I don't know, go and finesse yourself on a Monday night and have a face mask and a big bubbly bath? Do you know what I mean? So it's just all about taking responsibility for your day, really.
Definitely. And I think a lot of it comes from self-love and self-care as well. Implementing that in your day-to-day. So a Monday is a good day to, up that. So how do you take care of yourself and find self-love?
It's funny, I wrote a blog post about this the other day saying why self-care may not be working for people. And I think it for me, it's all about doing it daily. It's about conditioning myself and creating new habits that are good and that are beneficial to me. So I do things daily, and I make sure I meditate. I look at what makes me feel good and what fills up my cup, and I try to at least do 2 or 3 of those things a day. I just think it's so important, and I don't feel like it's a luxury at all, especially being a mum. I think people, especially parents, they can feel guilty for taking time for themselves. But for me, I know if I don't have certain things in the day that I'm doing, I then start to be ratty, I'm not as patient, I'm more agitated, all these things. So it's just looking after myself so then I can then serve those around me to the best of my ability. Do you know what I mean?
So Pick Me Up really served. So Pick Me Up was started obviously to motivate people in their day-to-day lives, but also it reaches out to people who are going through bad times at the moment. That could be depression, anxiety, maybe a loss of a family member, and all these things that can get on top of you. So beyond just doing your self-care, day-to-day things which are very important, what advice would you give someone who is trapped in a negative cycle? What further advice would you give to someone like that?
So firstly, my disclaimer is I hate advice because I just think what works for me might not work for someone else, and I can only speak from my own perspective. For me, when I was in a dark place, I've spoken quite openly. I battled with self-harm since I was 10. I had a massive breakdown in 2015. And how I got myself out of that was I asked for help. I reached out. You know, I think people think counselling is for middle class white people, and it's not. I'm mixed race, I'm not rich by no means, but I was dedicated to investing in myself to get better and to better myself. And so I reached out, asked for help, and then I was consistent with that. And I think with consistency comes results. And I know what it's like when you're in that dark place. Well, for me, if I'm gonna think back, I was just like numb, didn't feel anything. So there's never like I can say I was really sad. If anything, I was really scared because I thought I would never be happy-go-lucky Yaz again. And the only way I've ever described it is like a little cork bobbing out in the ocean and just seeing my old self with my family and friends on the shore and not knowing if I was ever going to make it back.
You're going to feel that again.
Yeah, if I was ever going to get back or if I was going to stay out in the ocean and just be out here in this wave of emotion and depression and just drowning in it. So I think for anyone that is going through something, I think it's really important to know that you're not alone. There's so many charities, so many amazing brands and organisations that are there to help. Speak to someone, a family, someone you trust. Don't just speak for speaking's sake. Speak to someone. I spoke to an adult, and I know it sounds funny because I'm 26, so I'm an adult. But when I go through a crisis, I'm like, I know I need a real adult. And I reached out to my auntie, and I just said to her, and I'd never actually told anyone about my self-harm, and I just told her the truth and just said like, this is what's going on. And for a while, I just tried to heal myself, read good books, be around people and all of that. But my friend offered me and said, if you was up for it, this is my therapist's number, and see if you were interested in it. And it was the best thing I ever did.
Yeah. So did you feel nervous opening up to, a stranger? So, well, first you opened up to your auntie.
Yeah.
So that was one stage, but then you had to go and open up to a stranger. How did that feel? Did you have to overcome anything to do that?
I think there's an element of fear and embarrassment, and you carry a sense of shame. But this is what these people went to uni for. This is their job, and I felt it was more beneficial to myself and those around me that I spoke to a stranger. There's only so much your friends can do for you, and I know that I'm never even the one that really goes to my friends often, but I do know it can be a lot when it's consistent. Because your friends are only your friends, there's not much they can do. And so for me, she was a professional, this lady, she carried the conversation, she knew what she was doing. And I remember feeling weird, like I text her like, oh hi, so-and-so. My friend gave me your number, just hoping to maybe book in with for a session, that's all I wrote. And then she actually texted me back and said, I'd love to have a phone call conversation with you and then just tell you a bit more about myself. So she told me what kind of therapy she does. Kind of how it would work. I'd go in for a consultation, just made me feel at ease. And she just said, come in for this consultation, you're not signing your life away, just see how you feel and see if we can work together. And so that it made me feel a lot better. And I was only supposed to be in there for like an hour and a bit, and I was there for like 2.5 hours. So
it was needed.
Yeah.
So have you reached back on the shore, would you say?
Yeah, and I think anyone that suffers with depression or anxiety or anything that's a battle, you're never fully free of it. I always go back out into the ocean. I'm just better equipped to swim out there, and I look around and everything I learn, I come back to the shore and tell my old self. Do you know what I mean? I tell myself, every negative thing I go through, I allow myself to feel it. And I think that's what worries me about the generation that we're in right now. All this social media, it's amazing. Social media's been amazing for me. But I can understand how for some people it isn't, the comparison and feeling like everyone's, living their best life and all of this. And I think it's really important to allow yourself the room to feel what you need to feel, because in essence, that's how you're going to grow as a person.
And you wrote about this recently on your blog, that sometimes needing that space to retract and to give yourself that time and give yourself just to pause. And how do you incorporate that into your life anyway? Because you do so many different things as well as being a mother. Some days, on my bad days, when I'm with my parents, and I'm just like, how did you guys do all of this and bring up a child and be okay and be an amazing parent as you seem to be? So, so how do you incorporate all of that and stay mindful?
I think I'm really careful with my time. So if I can't do something, I'll say it as well. Like if I'll say, oh, I'll try, but I can't. I think it's really important I now book in with myself as if I booked a meeting. And it's just as important as going to meet someone who's going to offer me the best deal in my life. Because if I cancel on myself, I know it's going to catch up with me. And like I said before about it being in everybody around me's best interest, that I keep that up. That's my motivation. And the days I do feel down, you know, I've been going through some really tough times recently. I had a breakup like last week, and it's so funny because my friends at college was like, what? But like you're still positive, and I was just like, listen, a breakup is not the end of the world, and it can feel like the end of a world because it's something you shared with someone. But for me, it's all about being grateful for the connection and learning that not all endings are bad. You know, we've been conditioned that an ending must be negative and it must be all, you know, that you can find peace within endings. So although I've been going through a tough time, I wrote about it in the blog today. I wrote about, you know, if you only hustled on the days that you felt good, you wouldn't get much done. And I think we can all get into this habit of, I'm just going to tap out today, I'm just going to tap out. And it's like, I know, for example, even if I was feeling low today, I knew I was coming here. Do you know what I mean? So I did what I had to do this morning to get me in a good emotional state to share my energy. And I know, okay, boom, Wednesday, I've got a day off. So Wednesday I can actually take that time out. Yeah. So I think it's just about being realistic and honest with yourself and your schedule.
Definitely. I feel like a lot of us pile in so much and then we just don't have time for ourselves.
Yeah.
But I think a versatile